Welcome back to Mike on the Mics. What's up, Mike?
What up, Mike?
Oh, man, we got a good show today. I am excited.
Yep. Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. We're going to cover, we'll briefly talk about the Wings and Tigers.
Yep,
and then it's a free agency, man.
Yep. Chaotic. It's like the teams all got like stimulus checks and just spent.
Give them $30 million extra dollars and they go freaking crazy.
Yep.
Yes, I will say I was going to come in and I was going to start this podcast. I was hot. I was pissed off throughout the week, and I was going to come in hot, but I've slowly cooled down as the last couple of days went on, and Lions made a little bit more improvements.
He did his breathing exercises. He had a cold beer, and everything is settled into place now.
And we'll get into it. The Wings are on my shit list.
Yep.
Can't really say anything bad about the Tigers right now. Spring training, things would change. But before we get into that, what's going on, man? How you been? How was your week?
Oh, hey, week's been good, man. It's just work's busy, working a lot. Got a big project we're going on right now, but it seems to be going okay. But yeah, everything's good at home. And
how was your weekend? You guys do anything good?
The weekend was pretty chill. I did my usual watching Supercross on Saturday. Miles had basketball on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was so that was fun. I saw my mom, hung out with the kids, hung out with Megan. She worked most of the weekend, right? Yeah. I have trouble remembering back that far sometimes. Don't you?
You're old now.
Yeah.
You're in your 40s.
Yeah, I know. Yep. But no, we had a good weekend. Very low key. How was yours?
It was good. We had a fun weekend. Saturday we went and celebrated my buddy's 40th birthday down in Ferndale. We went to that Detroit Axe place.
Oh, did you? Okay, how was that?
That was cool. First time I've ever been there and done it. It was fun. We had a good time. I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Like I said, never did it before, but yeah, we had a good time. And then Sunday we attempted to go down to the St. Patrick's Day parade. So in the morning, our friends, and they got a 2-year-old daughter, they call us like, hey, they're going down. They're supposed to walk in the parade with her company. And it instantly brought back all this nostalgia of like going down there, and like we'd get down there like 7, 8 in the morning. You party all up and down in Corktown and stuff. And we get down there. It's freezing cold.
Yeah.
It was so cold on Sunday. The wind was horrible. So we got down there. We went down there for a little bit, but we ended up leaving before the parade even started.
Oh, God.
I was miserable. So
yeah.
I could only imagine how
that little one
their daughter was
yeah.
feeling. So we hung out for a little bit, and it just wasn't going to work out. But because they were going to walk in the parade, walking back to the car, we were able to walk through like where all the floats and everything was. So pretty much their daughter got to see, and we all got to see what the parade was going to have in it anyway. So
okay.
It was pretty
cool. At least
cool.
you guys tried.
Yeah, we tried. So we just went back to their place and ended up hanging out, but we attempted, and yeah, it was too. But the day before and the day after were like both in the 60s, and
I know. And then like today, it's
crappy
50,
out again.
crappy. The last 2 days has been beautiful. That's just Michigan for you. What can you do?
But the one thing that we were down there and we're walking down Michigan Avenue. Now it's been a while since I've been to Corktown, and love Corktown, right? Love all the bars down there. Love everything about that area. We're walking down and we get to McShane's, and we're standing outside, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking to myself, why am I so out of place? I'm like, Michigan and Trumbull, right?
Oh.
Tiger Stadium. I'm
Yep.
looking around, and I totally forgot about this, but they build a freaking bank and apartment complex.
Wait a second. Tiger Stadium's not there no more?
So
What the hell? Where did that place go?
they tore it down? When? But yeah, they built it right at the corner there.
Oh,
It
God.
threw me all up. I was kind of pissed. I was a little offended. I was like,
Yeah.
this is sacred ground. Now, they kept the outfield post, foul post out there. And
Oh,
there
they
is
did? Okay.
there is still a field behind. I looked up these apartments when I got home, and they look nice. I'm nothing against the apartments. I understand they want to keep building
right,
and stuff.
right.
But I was just kind of like, why do you touch that corner? They're always running leagues out of there.
Yeah.
And it just felt so different and out of place when you're standing there at the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking around, and I'm all confused. And here's this apartment building and bank, and I was a little offended that
Yeah.
they went and messed with that. Like, I understand you want to build up the city, but leave that corner alone.
Yeah, it's nothing sacred anymore. It's all about the
All about that money.
All about that money, man. If they found Noah's Ark, they would freaking dig that thing up and
They turn into a multifamily home.
They would,
is
yeah,
what they do.
exactly.
It'd
They
be
would,
in a
they
new
would turn it
apartment
into
complex.
a strip mall or some sort of a paid attraction, charging $15 beers. So, yeah, that's a bummer. But I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I was a little taken back by that, but that's all right. I calmed down. I was a little mad when I first saw it, but that was last weekend, so I've relaxed a little bit.
You've done your work and settled down a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
Good.
It's
Good,
okay.
Good.
But what I'm not settled down about are these Red Wings.
Oof. But come on, man! They have a sweet theme song. My Red Wings.
You remember?
They're hockey town, man.
Do you remember back in the '90s "I Want Stanley" song?
Oh yeah,
that was.
I
great.
got the pennant in my garage.
Nice. No, they're frauds. I'm saying it. I don't care if people like it or not. They're a fraudulent team. You were in the playoffs. You lose Dylan Larkin, great player.
Yeah.
But he leaves and you guys just get your asses kicked up and down the ice for 6 games in a row.
Yep. Outscored 32-11 in those 2 shutouts.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just how they can go from one end of the spectrum to the opposite in just a matter of losing one player. And they were bragging about having all this depth in the organization. Where? What now?
Okay, so Larkin leaves. Obviously, you're not going to be as good of a team, but you should still be able to compete. So
you don't lose 6 games, especially in the middle of a playoff race. It's not good.
And then on top of that, they go and do absolutely nothing at the trade deadline.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't look good. I mean, at the time, I know they were kind of on the heel of that winning streak that they had, or maybe just exiting out of that, and then it didn't look as bad. But now you're like, okay, what the hell?
I just I'm not gonna say the F word, but I'm not gonna lie. Yzerman is on the hot seat in my opinion.
Yeah, he's been given enough time. We got to start seeing some results.
Well, I think we have in this city. We love to just kind of blindly follow our GMs
Heroes.
and coaches that have played here for Yzerman. Great player.
Mm-hmm.
He did great in Tampa Bay as the GM. Right.
Yep.
He's coming here. We thought he was doing good, but we're not seeing really that improve. This year, you think you're on the verge of making the playoffs. Last year, same thing. On the verge, you fell apart.
Yep.
This year, on the verge, you're falling apart. I'm, again, not saying the F word about Yzerman, but you're on the hot seat. I don't think that we're ready, and what's the Wings have proven over the last 6 games is that they're not ready.
Yeah.
They're not close to getting back to the playoffs, let alone making a run at anything.
Yeah.
I hear about there's a toxic locker room.
Right.
The players are fighting each other during practice. I mean, what's going on? I mean, Yzerman, you got to get it together. And I love you as a player, but right now as a GM, you're
not very good. Him and Troy Weaver have had some rough weeks.
You're lucky I don't kick your F&A. Who says that to a fan? What is wrong with this guy?
Oh my God! I mean, I don't even want to get into the Pistons just because of how dysfunctional it is. But I mean, you gotta just literally laugh because of the state of the team, and then just laugh at that. You know,
you're the GM. Why are you now? We don't have the whole story. There might have been other things that
who knows, right?
That was said, but all the guy said was you suck at your job, and he's not lying.
No,
and that makes you that mad. First of all, why don't you just walk away?
Right.
You're the GM. Go back up to your suite.
The security guy should have actually kicked him out.
Exactly. I think you need.
No, man. I'm sorry, bro. You gotta go. Hold on, me? I'm the GM. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you suck at your job, so you gotta go. But to say that to a fan, that's just to me. That's crossing the line. Again, we don't know the whole story. If the fan would have said something a little bit more derogatory or anything,
if you would have just said, "Hey, security, get this guy out of here," no problem. But you can't go up and threaten to kick somebody's behind.
Yeah.
And
I also don't know
everybody.
why the kid should have been kicked out. All he was doing was saying, "You suck at your job."
Yeah. We didn't see everything maybe before.
Exactly.
Who knows how long? But,
so we can't really.
But still, you can't do that. Can't do that.
No. And in front of all these other fans and kids that are sitting around, like, really, Troy, you're gonna jump across the aisle and fight this kid?
Right.
That
would be more exciting than what's going on in the court. At least, you know what I mean? Maybe that other guy can fight a little bit.
That's true.
Troy Weaver can probably throw down a bit. So,
yeah.
But all right, let's ditch the crappy news and get into the good news.
Yes.
Our Tigers, not much to report there, but Jackson Jobe had his debut the other day.
Whew. Man, that guy's got some speed.
He's got some heat.
Whoo!
We
Throwing
got
gas.
wild thing up there.
102.
But he said he's got some control. Yeah, that was impressive. You know, I watched that sequence of pitches, that ninth inning, and I get it. It's spring training. Calm down, Mike. Right? I get it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the one thing I noticed, I mean, he was hyped up. He was amped.
Yeah.
He was throwing his damnedest out there, and I appreciate that. I just please don't blow your elbow out. But
yes.
He was throwing hard, and he was locating. He was locating his pitches. He got 3 really, really good pitches. Obviously, you can throw 102 miles an hour. Wow. But I was really excited about that.
Oh, I mean, so is that. You hear that, and that's you're getting your velocity up.
Yep.
And he's consistent with it.
Yep.
That was good. I know Mize went out, pitched today. He was touching 97.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Yeah.
He said he feels good. I know you were talking before we started the show that Hinch is pretty hyped about our pitching.
Yep. We got a lot of pitching depth, and that's going to carry us. You know what I mean? Hopefully the hitting catches up, but
yeah,
I like that. I have something I wanted to bring up as far as Jackson Jobe really quick, and this might be just completely crazy.
I like crazy. We do crazy here.
The Tigers really don't have a solidified closer, right?
No.
We don't have could Jobe be that guy eventually? I mean, once he's ready, could he take on that role? We have so much pitching depth. Having a closer is key. You know what I mean? Having that solid closer, and just from what I was witnessing the other day, and I get he's only 21, and you know, to have that closer, you got to have a mentality. But could that be that guy?
I mean, I don't see why it couldn't. I mean, he's young, so the only thing I would think is, do you really want to take a young pitcher and immediately put him into the closing role and not have him as a long...
No, yeah. I'm not saying when he starts,
but I agree.
Yeah.
If that's what it leads for him to go, then yes, by all means. I would just think as a young player, you may not want to necessarily get him into that role just yet.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, you work him in. Maybe he does some spot starts. Once he's ready for the MLB, give him some relief appearances, low-pressure situations. Then you kind of work him in, and then maybe over time, when he's in his prime, maybe he takes over that role. I don't know.
But the league has changed. A closer is a huge part of the game.
It is.
So it's also not off the table and completely crazy to think that you have a young guy that comes in and becomes your closer for the future.
Right.
Just because of the way that the league is now. I mean,
right. It's a very, and we've seen it with our past Tigers not having that lockdown guy that can really burn you sometimes. And I just wonder, I know this is really getting ahead. I was thinking about that the other day, and I was curious.
Get
your thoughts.
It's a possibility. I wouldn't put it past him if he's able to continue with what he's doing.
Yeah. So the Tigers very exciting. I'm excited for opening day and first game.
Yeah, we're close. We got to be 24 days away or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, maybe a couple weeks before our first game.
Yeah.
And then opening day is 20-something days away.
It's exciting. I can't wait for baseball to be back.
Me too.
But before baseball gets back, we entered the free agency this week with the NFL, and
there wasn't a whole lot that happened, right? I kind of fell asleep, right? Nothing really happened.
No, a couple players moved around. It wasn't a big deal. So that will conclude the show since nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. Right.
To me, it was chaos the first day.
Oh, it was nuts.
First and second day. I mean, we said it in the beginning. You give these teams $30 million extra in salary cap, and they just go berserk with signing players.
It's like a stimulus check. They get on Amazon.
Exactly.
Start buying players.
So we want to cover the Lions, but I think before we do that, maybe we kind of go through some of these other big signings through the other teams.
Yep. Let's highlight some of these teams that really, I guess, made a difference, for lack of a better term, and then. Yeah, let's get into the Lions. There's a lot to talk about there now too, especially with the signing today.
So let's just go right into the first team, and a lot of this is kind of going to go with how it affects us and our division.
Yep.
Falcons, Cousins. Yep. Cousins is leaving our division and going good for Cousins.
Yeah, I like him. He's a good quarterback. He got a lot of money. Good deal, and the Falcons are probably ready to win.
You know what? And we don't have to worry about the Vikings anymore. What are they going to do? What are you going to do? You sign Sam Darnold?
Right. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Okay.
They're going to be drafting a guy probably. So they're going to be a rookie quarterback. And
there's a lot of rumors with their draft on who they're going to get, but I'm not worried about the Vikings, even if they get a top
for sure
top quarterback coming in. But good for Cousins. I did not see that coming.
Yep.
And the Falcons go off and they just get a couple other players too to.
They got him a receiver and they re-signed their long snapper, and then they lost. They actually lost. Akuda was on the team, but
yeah.
he didn't play much.
No, and then earlier today they made a trade with the Cardinals. They got the Cardinals receiver Rondell Moore.
Oh, that's right, because they traded Ritter. That's
Ritter,
right.
yeah, Desmond Ritter, yeah.
Desmond Ritter. Okay,
So
interesting.
boosting their offense.
Their defense last year was pretty good. Now you're going to have a good offense. That team should compete for that division.
Oh yeah, I
For the
think
NFC
Tampa Bay
South.
needs to be worried.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
it was Tampa's the last few years. I think Tampa won the division 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
That's the Brady era.
Yeah.
They won 1 year with Baker, but
Yeah,
watch out Tampa because I think Atlanta's
I think they're coming. Yep, that'll be interesting.
Lions could be seeing Atlanta in the playoffs.
That could be a fun matchup.
Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
This would watch out.
Right.
Holy crap, that's
Derrick
going to be
Henry.
a scary offense.
Yep.
Derrick Henry signed with. You have him who can run, and he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And you got Lamar Jackson that can run.
I know. Yeah, they majorly
Good luck,
upgraded the running
good luck,
back
AFC.
position. Yeah.
Thank God we don't have to
Yeah.
see them too often.
Yep. Yeah, they're going to be good. I mean, it's just the rich keep getting richer, the Ravens, but they're desperate. They're trying to get over that hump, and it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Derrick Henry, awesome player. Going to be fun to see him, and that'll be a fun team to watch. They always are fun to watch.
They are. Well, let's see if this helps them get over the hump, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
that was
for sure.
the whole thing. I mean, Lamar Jackson wins MVP twice,
Yeah.
comes in, has a good team, and then they kind of, I don't know if choke is the word, but they
Mm-hmm.
kind of, don't do anything in the playoffs. And
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if they can.
Get over that hump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think adding another running back because you can neutralize Lamar Jackson, and once you do that, that team is pretty much at a standstill. So, well, real quick, let's cover the. I know the Bears really didn't do a whole lot. I mean, they did get Swift and stuff like that, but I think what's going to be interesting to see what they do with their number one pick and Justin Fields, and I really don't know because I feel like the market has cooled off for Fields. They're not going to probably get what they want for him now. So, do you keep him?
Well, so the rumor I heard the other day was that they're going to possibly trade their first pick.
Right, and probably get a boatload in
And
return.
get a bunch in return and keep Fields. And honestly, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I don't see Justin Fields as that bad of a quarterback. I mean, I think he would help. Any team that he goes to, but
It just doesn't seem like the market's there. So
no, especially
maybe-
that nothing's happened in the first 4 days here in the free agency.
Yeah.
That will be. And once we get talking about the Lions, I want to circle back to the Bears with DeAndre Swift and then the
Yeah.
other teams in our division with these running backs because
Yep.
there's when we get talking about the Lions, there's some things that are going to fall right back to the division, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty excited to get to it. But
Okay.
again, we'll continue with the around the
list.
league. Yeah. Again, the Packers, right? They signed a big running back and a big safety. Again, that's affecting our division.
And McKinney. Yeah, those are both.
They
solid
definitely
players.
got better.
Yeah.
I do think next year, I don't think we're going to have to worry about Minnesota, right? I mean, unless Sam Darnold decides to go off. Mm-hmm. Not too worried about Chicago. Obviously, we have to see what they're going to do here.
Yeah.
With the Packers, that's going to be Detroit and Green Bay going head-to-head here in our division.
Packers have always been that organization. They just kind of always seem to figure it out. You know what I mean? They're
I don't
always
know
gonna make
how.
good moves and yeah.
How do you have this? I mean, Jordan Love hasn't proved himself yet. But you're talking 3 quarterbacks
Right. I know.
in a row? Favre to Rodgers to possibly Love?
Well, how about 3 quarterbacks in over 30 years? That's all you've needed
Yeah.
since what Favre debuted in 91.
Yeah,
Something
and
like
if
that?
Love
Yeah.
pans out that way, I think they would be the only team to have had 3 quarterbacks. The only other teams that really come to mind is you have the 49ers when you had Montana to Young,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then nothing happened after that with them. But to have 3 in 30 years. Mm-hmm. How many quarterbacks the Lions had in 30 years? I don't think we got enough time to go through this list.
We could do a whole podcast on that list. That's gonna be interesting. The Packers are gonna be a pain. They got a good coach. Like I said, they always figure it out. It's gonna be a battle with them. I still think the Lions are better, but it's gonna be fun to see.
Oh, I agree.
Another team, I was quite impressed with was the Texans, and it kind of piggies back off what they did last year. How quickly they transform that team, and it's a lot like how the Lions did it. I mean, I know the Texans, drafted a quarterback. The Lions didn't have to do that, but I mean, the Texans have made some really, really good moves. They are going to be a pain for a while. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
In the AFC.
they're going to be good for a while.
They're going to be a really good team. I did not see the C.J. Stroud panning out just because I watched my Wolverines whoop that butt.
Yeah.
2 years in a row. But he was phenomenal. He was fun to watch. That team is fun to watch. Then you add Mixon. You get Hunter. I mean, they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready to roll. That'll be a fun team.
Yeah, Houston's going to, and they're going to be good for a while if they keep these young guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One of the other big signings was the Raiders. They got Christian Wilkins. I know I bring him up because he was tied to the Lions.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? Man, he got paid.
Yeah, he made a lot of
Some
money.
of these offense or defensive linemen got paid. Some
Yeah.
of these big names, and
Yeah.
I mean him, Chris Jones, just making too much money.
Yeah.
I think it's really too much money for the Lions to have went and spent, especially with who we ended up getting, and we'll get into that. But
For sure.
I will say I think the Raiders they're on their way to being good. We'll see what they do. I mean, they also picked up Minshew as their quarterback. I don't think that's going to really do anything there.
It'd be interesting if they draft a quarterback and have Minshew kind of, you know what I mean?
It will, yeah.
So,
But Wilkins and Max Crosby on that defensive line, two beasts,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Crosby scares me.
yeah.
So
he should be in a Lions uniform.
they'll be interesting to see.
Absolutely.
You got Minnesota again, just because they're in our division. They got the running back Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a good player.
And we took Marcus Davenport from him, and we'll get into him.
Yep.
What else we got here? The Russell Wilson. Well, I didn't really see Steelers picking him up.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either, but it makes sense. Because of just the Steelers aren't going to do anything risky. They're not going to overspend, and they got him for dirt cheap because Denver's paying his salary. So it makes sense, and I honestly think that he's probably going to go there, and they're going to probably be pretty good. I mean, last year they were 10-7 with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph, and who else was the other quarterback named escapes me? Mitch Trubisky. Then they kind of fluctuate all three of those guys.
Yeah.
I think. Hopefully, I didn't get that mixed up, but
That's all right.
no, it was Trubisky. I see it here now, but yeah, so they were still 10-7.
Yeah,
It's a playoff team.
That linebacker they picked up, Patrick Queen, he's good.
Yeah.
He's coming from Baltimore, and he's a good linebacker. So
That'll be interesting. That'll be a fun team to watch too.
But this is what the Steelers do. Steelers are a
Yeah.
good football team. They're always quick to turn themselves around.
Yep.
And they always have a winning season.
Yeah. I know that fan base is probably getting impatient just because they're so used to winning, but I mean, like, goodness gracious. When was the last time they were under 500? I don't think Tomlin's ever had a season under 500. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, give the guy a little break.
Yeah, exactly.
They're kind of in a weird transition trying to figure out what to do after Ben Roethlisberger, and I think Russell Wilson's going to help them.
Yeah.
So, one team we should circle back to real quick are the Eagles. I mean, they signed Saquon. I did not see that coming.
No.
They got Bryce Hoff, and then they got CJ's
going back.
They're going to be good as long as they don't have any issues in the locker room. I think that team is going to be good again.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't realize this last year when we signed CJ that he had issues with the Eagles. I don't know what it was, but I read this article or skimmed an article today that CJ Gardner, they mended whatever issues that they had, and that was one of the reasons why he went back to Philly. So just very interesting. I didn't realize that he left because of certain issues, and now that he's back there. But you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
Bye.
It's okay. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
So
does that
I think that kind of concludes.
Is it time?
Yeah.
Is it time?
Can we finally
we
get into the Lions?
We get into the Lions?
Get our Lions? Let me ask you, Mike.
Excuse me.
How do you feel overall now about the free agency period? I know it's technically not over, but I think the Lions.
Yeah, but the biggest part's over,
yeah,
right? I mean,
I don't think they're going to be doing much more. But what do you think so far?
That's Monday, Tuesday. I was underwhelmed at the beginning. When we get Carlton Davis, Marcus Davenport, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, like, really? I mean, we got money to spend. We got a lot of money to spend. Mm-hmm. And at first, I was like, that's who you want to get. But as I took a step back, because let's look at it like this. Is Carlton Davis, is he better than Sutton?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Is he a number one cornerback? No.
Probably not,
I
no.
don't think so. But when you look at the bigger picture of our defense and you bring him in, you're adding depth to our secondary, which Sutton is no longer going to be on an island by himself out there fighting on his own.
Yep.
So you get this guy you get Davis to come in, so it helps that way, right? When you take a step back and you look at the bigger picture of it, this is a good signing.
Yeah.
Again, not a number one cornerback, right? He does have some injury issues. He misses at least 4 games a year for the last few years.
Yeah.
So that's something to be concerned about.
Yep.
But it's getting our defense help, right? So I think so. That was a little taken back by that. And then again, off day was Marcus Davenport. You liked the name at first. 14th overall pick in 2018. Was highly rated his first couple years out of New Orleans. He has also not played a full season.
Right.
He only played 3 games last year. So he is a 100% on a prove-it deal.
Yep.
And I don't really have much more to say about him because
you just don't know.
we just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with the signing. We got these guys on the cheap.
Yeah.
Right? So come in and prove it.
Yep.
So that was my first reaction, was very underwhelmed.
Yep.
Not really sure what they were thinking when we have all this money. But when you, like I said, you take a step back and you look at the overall, we're definitely a better team because of it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
What did you think of the first day or two? Because we had some more things kind of follow that, and that's where I'm getting really excited.
Yeah. A little bit underwhelmed at first. Surprise? No, not really. I just had it in my gut that the Lions weren't going to make any big splashes because I felt like what they were trying to do is, build depth in free agency and then add some the key contributors in the draft. So I was really looking forward to the draft, even though I don't think the Lions necessarily are completely like the scales aren't going to tip because of the draft. Like they're an elite team. You know what I mean?
Yes, they are.
So it's not like we're hoping the draft is going to solidify it, but I think the draft will help put the pieces together for free agency or complete the equation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I guess I wasn't surprised. The concern about the injuries with these guys, yes, but they're taking risks. In that sense, they're not.
It's like a low risk, high reward.
Yeah,
right.
Because they're not giving these guys long term deals,
and we're getting them on the cheap.
Yeah, and
so that definitely helps. But as long as they can stay healthy,
right. And like you said, with the building the adding the depth, so these guys don't necessarily have to play like you said with playing on an island, where they're straining themselves. They can kind of cycle guys in and out, and I think that's what they're trying to do with the defensive line right now, especially with adding Reader today.
Breaking news.
Yeah,
that happened right before we started this podcast.
Yeah.
I have notes here on who I wish they would go after, and it's DJ Reader right here. Yeah, I have him on my notes. And then literally an hour before we go and start this podcast, they sign him to a deal.
Yes.
And this guy, this is what kind of calmed me down.
Yeah. 100%.
This guy is a beast.
Yes.
He is a beast. Now, let's get this out of the way. Coming off a horrible injury.
Yep.
A tough one to come back from.
Yep.
Tore his quad.
Yep. And he tore the other one, a couple years ago.
2021, I think it was. Tore his right, left, whatever. And last year, tore the opposite leg. What I was reading up about him was after his first tear, he came back the next year and played 15 games.
Yep.
And I believe it was just under 60% of the snaps.
Yep.
That's pretty good return on coming off an injury like that.
For sure.
So as long as he's cleared, the doctors give him, the okay to go. This guy could be a beast.
Yeah, I'm sure the Lions checked him out and he's good. They got him on the cheap too, 2-year, $27 million deal, $9 million guaranteed. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to demand a double team. And what that does is that's going to free up Hutch. And also that's going to push that pocket, that's where the Lions struggled, especially in the passing game last year. their interior tackles weren't getting enough push up the middle to really collapse that pocket. Now I think they're really going to be able to do that. And obviously this guy's a run stuffer.
Yeah.
And that's going to be huge too.
Well, let's look at it this way, right? He's going to come out. He's going to be healthy, right?
Yeah.
Positive thoughts. He's going to be healthy for this team.
Yeah.
Him and McNeil, where are you going?
Yeah, you ain't going
Where
nowhere.
are you going? Nowhere.
You're
not going to.
That's a brick wall.
Run on us. I dare you. And that kind of brings me back to that. The Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, they all sign new running backs. Where are you? Nowhere.
You're not going nowhere. Yep.
Right? And then you get Hutch on the outside.
Yep.
I mean, this defensive line has potential to be good. I mean, we know it. Our defense was not that great last year.
Right.
Adding Davis, adding Davenport, even the Meek Robertson. Okay, we're improving.
Yep.
You get these guys in here. Now we're talking. We have the potential to be a really good defense.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
We have to see it. We got to prove it out there on the field. But if we're looking on paper, I'm excited.
Yes, and you know what? The team is going to be better. I mean, look how many rookies they played last year, or second-year players they played last year. Those guys are going to get better. Jack Campbell's going to get better because of this move too. I have high hopes for him his second year. Branch is going to be better. He was really good last year.
I love Branch.
Yeah,
I love Branch.
Kirby
Guys,
Joseph's going to be good again. Hutch is going to be even better. This is only going to be his third year.
Yeah.
And you know, Aaron Glenn's defense from when he started here, they had the worst ranked defenses first year. So I know you can only go up from there, right?
Right. Exactly.
And then they were the 28th ranked, and then last year they're 19th, but they had the fifth. Was it the second best or fifth best rush defense? So, you know, next year the defense is gonna be better.
And we're excited. This Reader guy, I'm very excited about this.
Me
guy.
too.
I'm very excited about our defensive line. I do think we still need to give Hutch some help on the other side.
Yeah.
And whether that's James Houston or if they go get somebody into the draft.
Yeah.
But this defensive line is going to be huge for us.
For sure.
And I think the rest of the division, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Chicago, should be worried that they are targeting running backs, but you ain't going to run against us.
Nope.
It's not going to happen.
Nope.
You're done.
We're
You're not
the
going
Kings.
anywhere.
And, you know, not to get off topic too much here, but I just want to say that I really do appreciate how the Lions are building their team. I mean, you look at their first overall, well, not their first overall, but their first round picks, Sewell, Hutchinson, and then now they've loaded up with some defensive line depth this year. They've drafted James Houston. Hopefully he can stay healthy. They're prioritizing the lines on both sides.
Yeah.
And you look at how well we ran the ball last year, and what they're trying to do now with free agency. And I think they're going to probably hammer some picks on the defensive line in the draft too.
I think so. I think we'll see later picks from the in the draft, only because of what I've seen. In my opinion, from what I've seen in this free agency, is these offensive guards, they got paid.
Yeah,
they're getting paid a lot of money, and I don't think Holmes wants to spend that much, and I don't blame him. Now, we have a lot of money to spend, and I'll get into that in a second, but these guards, I don't think that we need to pay them. So I honestly would not be surprised at our first, if say we don't trade
draft a guard,
our 29th pick, right? Because I know the rumors about trade. If we don't, I would not. It's open to anything. Before all this, I was saying defensive lineman, draft a defensive. Now, I would not be surprised if we get a guard.
Yep.
If we get a receiver. I lost my train of thought.
Defensive back, maybe?
Another defensive back. So it's open to anything, but I really think we're going to see a offensive lineman drafted earlier than anticipated by Detroit.
And where the Lions are picking is a pretty good spot for a guard to get drafted. And you know what? If you want to continue to build off of that elite offensive line, which is the heart and soul of that team, that's a good move. And I would be 100% on board with that. You got to replace Jonah Jackson, you know what I mean? Replace him with a cheap version in the draft. That's kind of what they did with Hockenson. You know, they traded him, and what did they do? They drafted Laporta. Bam.
But our offensive line they're also, let's face it, they're getting old, right?
Mm-hmm. Some of the guys are.
Glasgow's on his way out. Ragnow's on his way out, and these guys are getting beat up, right? And they're still really good, but it's time to start preparing their. There's seceders coming in. I get you.
Even
if they don't start all the time this year, get behind these veteran players and let them teach them how to play the game and adapt to our schemes.
For sure.
The one thing that we were talking about earlier with the money, and you brought it up with the making a big splash. I wanted to see the Lions make a splash. I mean, everybody wants to see their team make a huge splash.
Yep.
And that was one of the reasons why I was very underwhelmed. I thought, we got all this money. It was like $50+ million we were able to spend. Mm-hmm. And, I kept hearing people like, oh, we got to worry about our future signings. And I wanted to bring this up was, listen, the window for us to win a Super Bowl is right now.
Yep.
And for a lot of teams, it's only a 3 to 5 year window. Mm-hmm. Right? And if we're going to worry about the future of our signings of Laporta, Gibbs, Campbell, I don't think that's anything we need to worry about. Let's worry about right now. Plus, on the other end is they gave $30 million in the salary cap this year, 2024. By 2027, it's going up another $40 million. We're going to have money to be able to sign our guys. So I don't think that needs to be something we need to worry about looking 4 years down the road. Oh, are we going to be able to re-sign Laporta and Gibbs? I'm not worried about that right now. Our window is now because, and I hate to say, we may not be there in 4 years.
You're going to get quarterbacks making $60 million, if not more, coming.
I mean, it is getting completely out of control. It's getting completely out of control. But they're raising the salary cap. Oh my God, yeah.
I'm just teasing, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. And plus, the salary cap in the NFL is kind of a joke anyway. Guys restructure deals, move money around, and so I get it.
How do the Chiefs keep every player they have?
Right.
The Chargers. Oh, it was Khalil Mack and
Bosa.
And Bosa. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yep.
We're fine.
Yep.
Yeah. All these teams. I mean, it is kind of a joke when you look at the salary cap. These teams make it work, but yeah, I'm not worried about the future. I think we need to look at the right now. Right. Because this is our window to go and win a Super Bowl, and it may only be there for a couple years. Hopefully, it's not. Right. I talked to a guy at work today, and he's like, listen, our window is closed for 80 years. Why can't it be open now?
Yeah.
Because I said, 3 to 5 years. And you get some teams like the Patriots, right, and the Chiefs that, have these
dynasties.
They're dynasties. They get these longer windows. But not every team does.
No.
Right? So take advantage of when you get it.
Yeah.
Right? And again, I'm not trying to downplay that we're not going to be good in 4 years, but let's do this right now. Mm-hmm. I don't want to look too much into the future because we're good now.
Oh, yeah. I still think we, how I feel about it is really going to hinge on how they do in the draft and how these guys pan out, how these second-year players come out and play, because I have high hopes. I am not concerned. I'm not going to bash the free agency at all. I like the picks or the signings, especially this Reader pick. I
love this. Yeah. Love this pick. I can't wait to see him play.
You really think about it. Okay, so where was a weakness on our team? Was the probably our interior tackles on the defensive side, and in our secondary. Okay, they addressed that. They signed and traded for guys. I know some of them have some injury concerns, but they're addressing that, and I think in the draft they're going to address that too. They're gonna build some depth with these guys and cycle them in and out, and I think that's the key. I'm really excited. I feel good about it.
I completely agree with that, and especially in the fact that the injuries are concerning, but these are all prove it deals. Mm-hmm. Come out and prove it to us. You may not be with us next year either, or in 2 years after your contract's up, right? Mm-hmm. You got to come out and prove that you're still willing to play, and then we can re-sign you. And if it doesn't work out like that...
They're not tied to these guys long term.
Exactly. Okay, well then next year, we get all these guys, they all get injured again, right? Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, great.
Right,
all of our signings... I mean, just like last year, right? Gardner goes down. Mosley goes down.
Yeah.
All these big free agents that we're signing.
Yeah.
And then... if they don't work out, okay, well then maybe next year now we go and make the splash, right? Okay, well we can't rely on taking these risks, because these guys are continuing to be injured. So I think it's a good move, and like I said, I was a little upset at first, but if people just take a step back and look like, oh, Carlton Davis, is he that good? Well, look what we had last year. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Sutton, right? I mean, everybody bashed him, but we left him out there because all we could do was blitz.
Yeah,
and
we weren't getting the pressure consistently that we needed to.
Yeah, good luck, Sutton. But now, guess what? Now you got those. Now they're gonna.
Now they're gonna have. They have
help.
Be able to get some pressure.
The depth is getting back, and
absolutely.
Maybe we don't need to go get the Snead. I mean, Snead would have been great to bring to the team. Mm-hmm. But do we want to pay that money? And really, if you look at a lot of the stats, a lot of these guys aren't too different from each other. Mm-hmm. I mean, Snead is a beast.
Yeah.
He is a shutdown corner. But I think our secondary is going to be better by bringing in all these guys together.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And you know what? It's going to be interesting to see if they, sign Amon-Ra and Goff. Because I think those two guys are on deck as far as getting.
I mean, they need it.
next deal.
I'm really surprised that we haven't seen anything yet.
I kind of am too.
I
I think from here until probably maybe July, something is going to get done with those two guys, I think.
And maybe they just wanted to get through the free agency.
Maybe
Maybe
kind of
that's
get
what
the
it
books
is.
in order,
Yeah.
and then or however it works, and then work those guys out. But you gotta. I'm really concerned. Well, I'm not concerned. My focal point right now is keeping Goff, keeping Amon-Ra, keeping Sewell, keeping Hutch, and I obviously love Gibbs and Laporta. But those first four, to me, they need to stay with this team. That is the heart and soul of this team. They need to be here long term. Figure out a way to get those guys.
And nothing against Gibbs. I love him, but he's a running back.
They have a very short shelf life. Yeah,
I mean, most running backs don't make it out of their rookie contract.
exactly.
Again,
Look, tight ends is a different story.
Tight ends is a different
Yeah.
story, but
those guys make a ton of money now once they're due.
yes.
So,
But the running back, let's face it,
Yeah.
Gibbs is going to be here as rookie contract, and then he might be gone.
Yeah, it's possible.
And we'll just bring in another one. I mean, you can get running backs every year.
Mm-hmm.
Free agency, wherever you want to go. So
and good teams with good player development will bring those guys in and fit them into their system. And I know Gibbs is special. He is absolutely 100% special. There's not many guys like him, but you can find those guys.
Oh yeah,
if you
I'm not.
have
I
to
mean,
over time.
I love everybody on our team right now.
Yeah.
I think we're good, but we have to be realistic about this,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
We just can't live in this fantasy world that we're going to have this team and they're all going to be
Right.
good and we're going to be able to afford
Blank
all of
checks
them
and- yeah.
we're going to be able to do this. No, realistically, in the next 4 years, not all these guys are going to be here.
No.
We're either
No.
not going to be able to afford them or they're going to want too much money for what they're actually worth,
Somebody will come in and pay him.
and somebody's going to come in and pay them.
sure.
And there's always the next man up, right? That's what they say about the NFL.
Yep.
Next man up.
Yep, for sure. So
But it's I'm excited. I can't wait for the season to start now. I mean, I want to get to the draft. I want to see what we do. This is going to be exciting.
Well, the draft is going to be fun. I mean, it's just like, okay, now it's just like, all right, licking your chops, like, all right, who else we add in the table? Now it's just, we're not, like, all our hopes and dreams are resting on the next pick. You know what I mean? Like, now we were just, it's all gravy.
And Holmes has a great track record of. I mean, look what we
sure.
did last year.
Yep.
I do have a question for you. What are we doing for the draft? It's here.
I know, right?
What are we doing? I mean, obviously we're gonna go down there and hang out, but maybe we do a show from the draft.
That would be fun. That might be fun. What do you guys think? Should we do a show? Do a Facebook Live or something?
Yeah, live
leave
show or
us a
just-
comment and give us some feedback. But yeah, that might be fun to do.
Yeah.
Analyze every pick and give our thoughts and stuff from live. Have a couple beers.
I think it's going to be good. The only difference with this draft is, talking about this with a buddy the other day, is normally, we watch the draft, we get to see who we're getting in the first 30 minutes.
Right. We gotta wait a
We'll
while.
be hours into the draft, which is awesome,
Yeah.
right? At the 29th.
It's gonna be like that for a while, I think, too.
That's good. Let's
Yep.
keep it that way.
Yep.
I'm extremely excited at where this team is heading. I'm excited to see what happens over the next couple of days with some more free agency. I could see us signing some smaller guys here and there, maybe 1-year deals, just a couple million, maybe less than that.
Yeah.
And then, let's get ready for this draft. Let's go. Let's
For sure. You know what? When we post this this episode, please give your feedback. What you think? How the Lions did? How the other teams did? What stood out to you? We appreciate the feedback and
who was your favorite signing?
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Give us some feedback. We really
Do you
appreciate
think we improved? Do you think we took a step back? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about what Holmes is out there doing? I think he's doing a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. All right, you want to wrap it up there, Mike?
Yeah, I think that's it. That was good. Free
an
agency's
action-packed
been
show.
exciting.
Yep.
Hope we gave everybody some information.
Yeah,
that
give you
they-
something to think about, and like I said, give us some feedback.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook, and
Yep.
we look forward to talking to you guys next week.
All right.
Go Lions!
Yep. Have a good night, y'all.